doing what? Who can remember? He was crying. And he asked him, why are you crying in this day when Allah has given victory and might to the Muslims? What was his reply? He said, look at these people. Yesterday, they were strong people with a big kingdom. Now today, look at them. The family is separated from each other. They are conquered now. The Muslims are over them. Why? All of because of their sinning of Allah. They were disbelievers, they were disobeying Allah. Allah broke down their kingdom and everything. So he was crying, saying, this can happen to us. This is the evil of sins. It happened to us as Muslims. We have to admit it. When he stopped being on the correct path, we started to sin, everything was breaking down. He says, he brought some lines of poetry from Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah. He says, رأيت الذنوب تميت القلوب وقد يورث الذل إدمانها وترك الذنوب حياة القلوب وخير لنفسك عصيانها وهل أفسد الدين إلا الملوك وأحبار سوء ورهبانها. He says, I saw the sins making dead the heart or the hearts, and they bring to it humiliation and disgrace if you continue to do the sins. And living of the sins is the life of the heart. It is better to you than actually disobeying Allah. And is there something which corrupted the religion except the rulers and the scholars who are evil? There's nothing like else other than this. The 18th point, he says, the sins even corrupt the mind. The sins corrupt the mind. تفسد العقل. He says, because again, the mind, the intellect is light, like we said about the knowledge before in the heart. And the sins, the ma'asiyah, they turn off this light, they extinguish this light. Just like the sins we said, they extinguish the light of the ilm, the knowledge. And when it becomes weak, this light, then the intellect becomes weak also and decreases. He says, and some of the Salaf say, nobody will continue to sin Allah except that his mind will go away. He says that this is very apparent. If somebody actually had a correct intellect, it will have prevented him from doing sins. The correct intellect will prevent you from doing sins. Why? Well, he knows he's in the reach of his Lord. Allah can do anything to you anytime. You are under his subduing. He is watching you. You are in his kingdom and his earth. And his malaika are witnessing you. If you put this thing in your mind, the correct mind will tell you, don't sin. I'm in his kingdom, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm under his control. He can do anything to me anytime. His malaika are watching me. Would you sin? You'll not sin. He says, and the admonishment of the Quran prevents him. The Quran is a wa'id, admonish. And the admonishment of Iman prevents him also. وَوَاعِذُ الْمَوْتِ يَنْهَى. And the admonishment of death. If you remember death, you won't sin. And the admonishment of the fire will stop him. And it says, in what you don't get, what passes you away because of the sins of the goodness of this life and the hereafter, there's so much which make you lose so much happiness. Or there's so much which you cannot compare to the small delight, so small entertainment you get from doing that sin. So do you proceed or do you choose to throw away all of that and choose this? Can a correct mind do that? No. So the sins affect the mind. They affect the mind. Number 19, and this is also related to what we have mentioned already. He says, Al-ma'asi tatbu ala qalbi sahibiha. The sins, they make the heart sealed. Waliyadhu billah. He says, when the sins become so much, the heart of this person is sealed. And it becomes from the ghafilin, the heedless ones. As some of the Salaf said, according to the said regarding the statement of Allah, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ قَالَ هُوَ الذَّنْبُ بَعْدَ الذَّنْبِ. They say this is the dhanb of the dhanb. When Allah, and we mentioned this last week about the ran. We said the ran, the Prophet ﷺ said it is the dot. Every time you commit a sin, there's a black dot in your heart. If you turn back and repent, it is wiped away. If you don't, the dots, the blackness continues the heart until the heart becomes like rusted. That's the ran. Allah said, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. Until you don't know what is good, you don't know what is bad. He says, the heart becomes rusted, or becomes weak, or becomes sick because of the sins. Every time this increases, the ran becomes, or the ran engulfs, until this heart is sealed and it is locked. Waliyadhu billah. And I think everybody has, if you read the Quran, Allah says about these people, وَالْتَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. Rather, Allah has sealed their hearts. صُمٌّ بُكْمٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Allah, when you reject the message and continue to sin, Allah seals the heart, so that even if you are to hear the Quran, you will never believe. It does not affect your heart. Salamtullah. The heart is sealed, waliyadhu billah. And that's the worst punishment you can get. Number 20, he says, the sins bring you the curse of Allah. They bring you the curse of Allah. He says, the sins enter the person under the curse of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sorry, for surely he cursed the sinner. And some of them are greater than others, meaning some are greater than others. And the Sheikh put a footnote here. He says, whatever he'll mention here now, we'll mention this. They're all, most of them are authentic ahadith from the Sahihain. And what is weak, he'll mention this is weak. He says, the Prophet ﷺ, فَلَعَنَ الْوَاشِمَ وَالْمُسْتَوْشِمَ وَالْوَاصِلَ وَالْمُسْتَوْصِلَ وَالنَّاصِمَ وَالْمُتَنَصِّمَ وَالْوَاشِرَ وَالْمُسْتَوْشِرَ. These are all from authentic ahadith. He said the Prophet ﷺ cursed the woman who does tattoos and the one who asks the other one to do it for her, and the one who makes separation between her teeth, and the one who does it, and the one who asks for it, and the one who puts the fake hair, and the one who asks for that, and the one who plucks her eyebrows, and the one who asks for that. They're all cursed. And Rasulullah ﷺ cursed آكل الربا ومؤكله وكاتبه وشاهديه. The Prophet ﷺ cursed the one who eats riba, and the one who is charged with it, the one who gives it, and the one who writes it, and those who witnessed it. They are all cursed. وَلَعَنَ الْمُحَلِّلَ وَالْمُحَلَّلْ لَهُ. And he cursed the muhallil and the والمحلل له. This is the one, we know when the woman is divorced the third time, she cannot go back to the husband unless she is married to another man, and then she has to sleep with that man at least once, and then he divorces her. If he divorces her and the iddah ends, then she can go back to the first husband. Now some people, the husband would have give the woman 3 talaq. She'll go and they agree with somebody else. Now just because she wants to return to the previous husband, they make a nikah which is almost fake, yeah. Just for the sake that, okay, she was married, then he divorces her right away. She sees the iddah so she can go back to the husband. These people are cursed.